The odds of this happening are right next to impossible, but you really can find a Minecraft village which is intertwined with a snowy taiga biome, as well as perfectly intertwined with a Minecraft extreme hill biome, creating this wonderful look of a snowy mountain, which the village not only goes up and through, creating this wonderful step effect, but also goes over as well. And to add to the amazing rareness of this village, it's also a zombie abandoned village, which also contains multiple churches and a blacksmith chest on top of that. Every single rare thing that could have happened to a village happened right here, and this is just one of the many notable things you'll find within a few hundred blocks of the spawn on this seed. Hello, I'm IPXToyCat, and welcome back to Seed Sunday, the weekly series where I show you seeds for Minecraft that are particularly interesting and worth checking out in some way. And this week's seed is one that is the most visually stunning of all the seeds I checked out recently for a massive experiment into woodland mansions and into zombie villages. I checked over 50 seeds, and as a result of that, you're going to see a lot of very interesting terrain on this particular seed, because it's the one that I just looked at and said, how would that all happen right next to the spawn? And let me tell you, it gets even better than you expect just from looking around the spawn area, because as you can see, if you don't know, I start Seed Sunday with a beacon to represent the spawn area. As you can see, you spawn in a mega taiga biome, which is already really great for a lot of people. It gives you an experience to see, a chance to see foxes. It gives you some giant trees, some mossy cobblestone, some other really niche blocks that you might be able to take advantage of. But then as well as spawning you in a mega taiga biome, which is a nice rare coincidence by itself, as well as spawning you right next to some berry bushes, which is nice people who want to start one of those farms, it also gives you the wondrous opportunity to spawn next to a village and to spawn next to a giant, by the way, ice spikes biome. One of Minecraft's rarest biomes, especially post the iceberg update. If you want to find packed ice in Minecraft in some of the most stunning forms, you need to find one of these, and to have it be adjacent to the biome at spawn is amazing in my opinion. Look at this biome right here. Look how incredibly cool it is, and you know, bad jokes aside, it actually is a stunning biome that always to me just yells, man, wouldn't this be a cool place to settle down in? I mean, when you're in the middle of this place, I mean, the ice spikes cover everywhere, and it looks like you've done something wacky, because a lot of Minecraft players, especially ones who have joined somewhat recently into the community, don't know this is a biome you can find naturally because it's that darn rare. Out of over 50 seeds I checked, only 2 of them had ice spikes anywhere near the spawn, so to have a pretty big biome like this is already pretty nice. And then also, as well as that, we of course spawn next to a couple of villages. One is over there that, you know, we won't even mention too much, beyond saying there is a village that is close to spawn that also contains a blacksmith, which gives you a rare chance at getting some loot, and everyone loves a free bit of loot, right? So you go in here and you get an entirely randomized set of loot. Might be iron boots, some iron pickaxes, might be obsidian diamonds. It's randomized every time you load up the seed, so to have a wondrous village like this so close to spawn is great. But the fact that it's not even the most notable village, or even arguably one of the 3 most notable villages, that's something that yells out to me. Because the really impressive village is the one I found just over here, that again is about an equidistant amount from spawn. Again, your coordinates are in the top left. If you ever do get lost, you can turn those on Bedrock. But here's the wonderful thing about this village, is it's a village which is found right next to the giant ice spikes biome, which is really nice by itself, right? But as well as being right next to that, you also get a blacksmith of your own, so another random set of loot. Could be diamonds, could be obsidian times 8 in this case, or 7 in this case, a couple of bits of iron armor, and a saddle, so you can ride a horse this early in the game. But the other wonderful thing is this not only is next to the ice spikes biome, but it crosses half into the taiga biome, meaning you got half villages, they'll have these white uniforms on, and half the villagers will instead have the more plainsy village uniform, which looks something a bit like, if we can find one in the village, this guy right over here. As you can see, he is in fact a villager wearing the normal clothes. The fact that you get 2 types of villagers living in one place, I mean, one view of the racial harmony that exists in the Minecraft world, damn straight need that in the real world, am I right? But more seriously, other than also making bad jokes, you can see the fact that, like, yeah, this is a cool village that intersects 2 biomes near perfectly to give you 2 types of villagers for the price of 1. So here's a really great Minecraft village next to the spawn, giving you one of my favorite types of villagers. I love the white uniforms they have on them personally, but this is the greatest thing. Like I just mentioned, it's not the most notable thing about this seed, and it's barely even the 3rd most notable village on this seed, because here's the great thing. Next to this ice spikes biome, next to this wondrously large snowy taiga and all this other stuff, we also find a flower forest, so all the flowers you could ever want and the ability to grow more. Lots of beehives, I mean beehive here, beehive there, I saw a beehive to the left here somewhere. Lots and lots of bees, which is wonderful. And then also a plains biome, so if you want to saddle a horse after you get such a nice free saddle, you can do that as well. But again, it just gets better from here, because to the north, you might spot, if you have your end distance turned up, you might spot how the snowy biome, this taiga biome, actually extends all the way around this ocean, which means you can just cross it if you want to and head over here instead. then what you'll find is another bit of a snowy taiga biome, a pretty flat one too, which is nice if you want to settle down in a biome where it never rains, by the way, it just snows, but you'll find yourself over here, one of Minecraft's rarest, absolute rarest, villages, because again, the snowy tundra biome is very, very rare to find villages in because it's such a rare biome by itself, and the way village placement works means that most people won't have seen one of these villages before. In fact, as I first loaded it up, I had someone in real life, and they're like, wow, is that a rare Minecraft village? I've never seen it before. And yeah, a lot of people have never seen any of these buildings before, including, by the way, the super rare snowy tundra blacksmith. This is a blacksmith chest found in the tundra biome, which is wacky by itself. I mean, lava is found right here with another opportunity for obsidian, diamonds, horse armor, etc. That's already wacky and niche and cool by itself, but this is an entire village filled with unique houses and trades and villages that look entirely different to what you're expecting, because again, they've all got the different outfit on for this biome, because every village has a different biome. But then the other wonderful thing is this is not just a snowy biome, because it also comes with a lava of the blacksmith, a giant lava pit you just saw me have right here, and as well as that, there's another lava pit on the other side of this biome. That's right, as well as being a great, world for just the stunning natural beauty, this, seed has a real nice advantage for speedrunning, and I love, even just getting to the nether fast, because using lava will allow you to do that much faster. That is wondrous, that is cool, that would already enough to be like, this is a great seed Sunday. I recommend this wholeheartedly based on what I've seen already, but then this is where things get real wacky, because what you might not have seen is just over here, we have ourselves a snowy, another kind of snowy taiga biome, which leads into a nice little forest that leads into another ice spikes biome. You might have seen it in the background already, but the fact that there is another ice spikes biome that close to the existing one, that is nutty if you ask me, because again, ice spikes are nice, but eventually you can run them down. This ice spikes biome with the hills, the natural kind of mountainous terrain that goes into it, this one is just the perfect setting for anything that you need that is, if you're trying to make a wondrous frozen castle, this would be the one seed that is perfect for doing that. I mean, look at this area, the way it's enclosed so well, so you can't see much beyond it. When you're inside of this place, again, like when you're sat right down here, there is nothing you can see beyond this perfect frozen wasteland around you, which is why, to me, again, this yells, make a frozen castle. Frozen 2 is a thing that came out. You like it? Make a thing about it. You don't like it? Make a thing that's the opposite of that. But more seriously, yeah, there aren't many frozen builds in Minecraft because frozen terrain is hard to come by, so the fact that we have so much here and so much stunning rare stuff all at once, that is cool. But again, this isn't the end of it. Although I can't stop imagining myself what it would be like to have like some form of giant palace here with like your nether portal up on a hill, some other stuff like connecting all the mountains together. There's just such a perfect place here for you to terraform. But heading back inwards to that second village we found. That's right, do you remember this village, the Snowy Taiga village? No big deal, just the frozen village type that only came to Java in the 1.14 update and that most people barely knew existed on Bedrock because of just how rare it is. No big deal, just a small stepping stone along the way to what you really want to find here, because as you can see as we head over here, the mountainous of the terrain gets more and more extreme, leading to pretty bizarre things, including this thing right here. Doesn't take a genius to say this is pretty darn wacky. And then if we head even further to the east than that, you'll find this extreme hills biome, which is where, the thing from earlier comes into play, because this is a Minecraft village which started in the plains biome, at the very edge of the plains biome, as you can see right over here. It technically started in a plains biome, which is a biome you can start a village in, unlike these two biomes right here. So it started in the plains biome, which is why we have a plains village, but then quickly goes into an extreme hills biome, then quickly from there it goes into the snowy taiga biome, leading to this weird effect right here, where we've got a bunch of animals trapped in a frozen pen, which then very quickly heads up the extreme hill mountain, again, in ways that don't even make sense for a village. Like, how would the villagers get down from there to there? That's not a thing the village cares about. It tries its best and it doesn't succeed. And then instead you can see how like hay bales, and then here is on the other side where there is another village building. And of course this would be more important if the villagers were still alive. I would go as far as to suspect the reason they've all turned into zombies is because it's really hard to get food when you live on a random peninsula surrounded by nothing. But still, this incredible mixture of rare things happening at once is just what makes this seed so unique and interesting. Again, a lot of people, when they show off seeds, and I've seen this in seed list forms, but in a lot of seed videos as well, they show off seeds and they're just like, this one thing I found is really interesting, but this is a rare combination of things that is not only rare by themselves, a rare combination of 3 rare factors, but also makes a very interesting combination, because this mountain that they're on would make the perfect terraform village. Again, if you want to make yourself a village from scratch, you know, rather than starting purely from scratch, what if you used a zombie village instead? Because obviously all the buildings, if you don't know, a zombie village has a lot more mossy cobblestone than normal. You could have like this mossy cobblestone village that doesn't look like it makes sense, but still kind of does. And even if you don't care about that, even if you don't want to regenerate this place, you just want to look at it and say it's unique, guess what we got? Another blacksmith chest. Every single one of the 4 nearest villages to spawn has a blacksmith chest, meaning you get free loot in the form of iron, diamond, saddles, etc. And that is another thing worth noting that makes this such an incredibly rare seed. I absolutely love the view of this place, and when you look up from the skies, when you get a bigger picture of this biome, you can realize it's even better than you thought. Not only because there's icebergs over there, which is always nice, like I mentioned earlier, but also because this mountain is so perfectly placed to allow you to make your own vision on top of it. Okay, I can't stop thinking about what it'd be like to settle down and make a base here, because again, this like just scenery, these mountains, it's something I really love. So hear me out right here with my terrible MS Paint diagrams. Imagine, look at this biome right here. Can't you just imagine what your place would be like? I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, so you can already see how there's 2 mountains with that perfect gap in between them, and you can see how there's even a part of a pillar that's formed below them. That is just begging for you to make like a big pillar and have a nether portal across the gap in between them. But then as well as that, you can see how there's like this perfect space for a mine over there on the left, and like to me it fits right in between where your house would be and where the village is. Then across the gap, across the nether portal way, you could have some form of blue ice pathway going way out into the distance and finding your nearest end portal or wherever you want to go. It'd look wonderful over this terrain, just a giant blue ice pathway, being able to see all of this wondrous terrain all at once in one giant boat ride. Or you can make a minecart if you're old-fashioned, but those things together, followed by a terraforming of this entire ground area that, is mostly covered in dirt right now, with a little bit of gravel and some stone. Cover that entirely in dirt, use the natural terrain, and make it a giant wheat farm. Or if you prefer carrots and potatoes, you can mix all of those things up. But I'd love to have like a giant farm underneath the portal, underneath the house, being overlooked by the house and the village, and also, easily accessed from the mine as well, because the mine would be going through a mountain, so that would be wondrous as well. I just love the way all of this could combine with one of the best views you would have in a Minecraft house. And yeah, I can't stop thinking about this, so maybe you want to do it. Maybe we should do this. Maybe this is a goofy live stream, or maybe we should just make this one day and, let me know what you think of it. And also let me know what you think about Seed Sunday, maybe including more of like my weird ideas on some seeds, because again, I love seeds that allow you to build what you want on top of them. And some of the seeds I've been, going over, because of the just sheer number we've been going through, are great because of the rare niche terrain that just yells at me, make me into a Minecraft place. And that's why I went through this in today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you found this to be as rare, wacky, and unique as I did. If you did, you can always like the video and let me know, because it helps out the channel a lot. Let us know you do want to see more Seed Sunday, just like this one, every single week on your homepage. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, because I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.